Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. To start things off, Ethereum's Serenity will launch by the end of this year. This is according to Consensus co-founder Andrew Keys. Given the current state of development, though, few share his excitement. In a 7th of January post published on the Consensus site, Andrew Keys shared his predictions for 2020. Keys was one of the co-founders of Consensus, having since become a managing partner at Dharma Capital. While Keys' prediction touched diverse themes ranging from the world economy to human rights, two are especially notable for their optimism. According to the executive, 2020 will see Ethereum move stridently beyond phase 0 of Ethereum 2.0 onto phase 1 and the launch of shard chains. In addition, while Serenity continues development, Key believes that Layer 2 solutions will turbocharge Ethereum and bring it towards 2.0 levels of scalability at Layer 1. The recent Istanbul hard fork was the last stage of Ethereum 1.0, introducing several improvements and adjustments. Some of the core Ethereum improvement proposals, or EIPs, that went into the upgrade were closely related to Zcash. Ethereum Improvement Protocol Proposal 152 improved in interoperability. Not really that important. Zcash, on the other hand, Matter Labs is attempting to leverage snarks for scalability on a basic level. Its ZK Sync technology will allow offloading of the majority of transactional computations off-chain. Finally, Plasma focuses on creating sidechains for specific use cases. In a 2019 interview with Cointelegraph, CEO of Consensus, Joseph Lubin, explained, he said, Plasma is a class of technologies that enables you to have less decentralized platforms sitting at layer 2 in the Ethereum ecosystem. They can benefit from the full trust in some cases. Sometimes they benefit from partial trust. But if they're linked in really rigorously, I'm sure you didn't say that, they can benefit from the full trust of the base layer, and you can get the best of both worlds. End quote. A lot of people, so stay with me on this one. I've been with Ethereum for a while. A lot of the people from Ethereum, for some reason, were relatively quiet last year, but only 14 days into this year, everyone seems to be very vocal about the fact that Ethereum 2.0 is going to officially launch. I believe we are in the beginning phases of Ethereum 2.0 with the hard fork that we had on the 3rd. But the other implementations, especially sharding, apparently are also going to be coming as well. The entire discussion of sidechains also continues to pop up and exactly what this will do for Ethereum scalability. And then we're also getting the information that sometime this year, the base 1 layer of Ethereum will be able to handle at least 3,000 transactions per second. What really caught my eye, for those of you who heard the word and your ears perked up, it's the word Plasma. Plasma, I mentioned about a good 3 weeks ago, is something that we have not heard of in over a year. Plasma is supposed to be the end-all scaling solution that we had heard before from the people from Ethereum and also Omise Go. They were both working on it, and the fact that we even heard about Plasma at all was kind of like a really weird, like when I read this, I was like, okay, especially since Plasma hasn't been spoken about in a while. The really interesting part is, for those of you paying attention, I was looking for news, and lo and behold, one of the first things that pops up is news about Plasma. It says, Plasma scalability for the Ethereum network is now a matter of implementation. This is according to the nonprofit Plasma Group. The nonprofit research organization Plasma Group announced in a 9th of January blog post that it would cease studying Ethereum scalability, identifying funding of public goods as the next key challenge. It pledged to donate its funding, or remaining funds, to Gitcoin. Plasma Group was founded in January 2019 with the goal of pushing research towards Ethereum scalability solutions based on Plasma technology. It received funding from a variety of organizations, including the Ethereum Foundation, Consensus, Omise Go, Matic Network, and Gitcoin. The nonprofit used this money to conduct research into solving practical obstacles for Layer 2 scaling solutions. The team identified several of its achievements as key, including creating Plasma cash flow implementations, releasing a generalized Plasma specification, and coining optimistic rollup. These served primarily to make Plasma sidechains into a fully fledged blockchain supporting smart contracts as opposed to just limited to money transfer capabilities. After 1 year of operation, Plasma Group reached a conclusion that research efforts into Plasma scalability are unneeded as the theoretical base is now mature enough. They said a year ago, scalability research felt like the most pressing need to us, so we threw everything we had into accelerating it. It is amazing to see the multitude of competent teams pushing production Plasma into reality now. This shift from research to implementation means that our mission as a research organization must shift as well. So, while the Plasma Group was formed in January of 2019, we have heard about Plasma since the end of 2017. I assume this was beginning to be formed at the end of 2018. This is one of the, I guess maybe, Plasma was touted as the main kind of scaling solution. It's kind of the same exact way that we heard about the, what's it called? The Lightning Network. In 2017 and 18, the Lightning Network was seen as the only viable major scaling solution or layer 2 side chain solution to the Bitcoin network. Plasma was also kind of the exact same thing. Whenever you would see like articles that had Plasma, but they would have like things of like Lightning in the back. It was supposed to be similar to the Lightning Network. So I guess I want to say that most of that has passed as far as that entire idea, because since then we've seen so many other side chains popping up and so many other layer 2 solutions proposed. But apparently, after all the hubbub, it appears that, I don't want to say that it's done, but the way that it's phrased is that it's now a matter of implementation. They also noted that they see Plasma being pushed into production. A lot of P's there. So yeah, I just thought that was very weird, the timing of it, the fact that we were hearing about and the reason why this article popped up, for those of you who don't know, there have been, and I'm going to be not as nice as possible, there are a lot of blockchains, a couple of them, that have been around since around mid 2017 or early to mid 2018, who had claimed by now that they would have full implementation, full upgrades, full this, full that, be completely done. And they are not done, and it looks like they are not going to be done anytime in the near future. I'll let you do your own research on exactly which coins those are. It's about 2 or 3 of them, and a lot of people in their communities are getting a little riled up and annoyed, because you can't tell someone I'm going to be able to do 1 million transactions per second by the end of 2018, and then 2020 rolls around and you still are barely on your test net. So I think the people from Ethereum have realized that they are also not as safe as they probably think that they are. As far as, you can't keep saying that you're going to do something and then you never actually do it. You can't say that Ethereum is going to have 3,000 transactions per second in 2018, and then in 2020 you're talking about, yeah, we're definitely going to have it. So I just assume that they're feeling the pressure, if you will, from actually having to implement these things that they've been talking about. I mean, ZK Starks, Plasma, sharding, sidechains, layer 2 solutions, the list goes on and on and on. And I think we only have very few of these things actually on top of Ethereum, if none at all, that have actually gone into full-blown implementation worldwide. Let's see if we end up getting more news this year about Plasma, or if other companies or organizations are going to be using Plasma. However, here's the actual blog post from the Plasma group with a little Rick and Morty shot that says, "On to new beginnings." Right. Let's move on. Next up, cryptocurrency users are often targeted by criminals and scammers all the freaking time. Particularly, emails can prove to be incredibly harmful in this regard. It appears a few phishing emails are making the rounds once again. One of them claims to come from Binance, even though it is clearly not. Anyone who looks closely at the actual sender will notice this fairly quickly. There's a fake email floating around. This is pretty much the news. I'm going to try and cover these a lot more. I used to kind of just brush past them, as far as like, everyone knows what's fake, everyone knows what's not real. A lot of people keep getting scammed. I saw someone in the comment section yesterday No, I've seen a couple people. The one that I can remember off the top of my head was one yesterday, and someone else about a couple of weeks ago who were asking if those YouTube channels where people say, if you send me a Litecoin and I'll send you 10 if they are legit. They are not legit. If you get any email or someone calls you or sends you a message in some sort of way saying that they are Binance or Coinbase and they ask you for your ID, your social, your blood type, where you live, any personal information that you have never had to give to Coinbase, don't give it to them. I mean, even in general, Coinbase would already have that information, so don't give it to someone else who's randomly telling you to call them. And on that same exact note, no, I do not have a Telegram. No, I do not have an Instagram. No, I do not have a Reddit. No, I do not have anything else. I use YouTube, and I post on Facebook and on Twitter, and that's it. A couple of people have been asking me the last couple of days if I am on this platform. Someone contacted them saying that they were me, and if they should send them $20 to get some type of helpful advice. You are being scammed. That is not me. If anyone sends you a message like that, curse them out. I mean, just let loose. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, scams are very rampant because there's a lot of money to be made. And where there's a lot of money to be made, there are a lot of people who are going to get scammed. Yeah, let's move on. Next up, recent reports indicate that South Korea is actively considering the idea of releasing its very own digital currency, thus joining several other countries in this endeavor. As such, the Asian country is currently in the progress of setting up a task force in charge of carrying out a thorough research of the opportunities and disadvantages associated with central bank-backed digital currencies. According to the Bank of Korea, the central financial institution is committed to fully understanding the digital currency market and related technologies such as blockchain. In a recent report, the central bank stated, "We will actively engage in discussions with the Bank for International Settlements and other international organizations, keeping an eye on national digital currency developments at other central banks." Another interesting aspect worth pointing out is that the Bank of Korea recently spoke about its desires to hire blockchain and digital currency professionals. Similarly, in December, one of the bank's main representatives also mentioned its plans of releasing a digital currency in the future. At this point in time, it is believed that central bank digital currencies can offer several benefits to the traditional financial infrastructure. Yet again, another country with news about releasing a digital currency of some sort. One of the main things that they say in opposition to this is that they either don't need them or that the public isn't currently asking for them. I don't see that anywhere in this one, but I assume this is also one of the main discussions, is that they find a need for digital currencies in the banking sector, i.e. banks sending funds back and forth between each other. However, for the actual consumer, for me, you, us, them, outside paying in stuff, they see no actual need or a demand from consumers for this type of thing. Keeping South Korea in your mind, South Korean cryptocurrency exchange Bitthumb has pledged to invest roughly $8 million in the Busan blockchain zone. The region was recently declared regulation-free by the national government and modeled after the Switzerland town of Zug. Biththumb's subsidiary GCX Alliance will discuss the preliminary plans with the Financial Services Commission, or the FSC, in this month. And then they talk about, I think, a hack. They lost some money. There's some numbers there. Bitthumb is one of South Korea's top digital currency exchanges, among other competing South Korean-based trading platforms like Upbit and Corebit. Why is Bit always in everyone's name? There's so many other letters in the alphabet, and everyone always chooses Bit for the very front. Biththumb's exchange hacks in 2018 forced the company to work with KISA, the Korean Internet Security Agency, to help recover their losses. Busan is allegedly one of the 7 regions that the Korean government has chosen to pilot distributed ledger tech and crypto solutions. Bitthumb is also no stranger to Busan, as the exchange operates a walk-in customer service center in the zone. The other interesting part was, it says Busan isn't exactly an area where blockchain developers and companies can create whatever they want. This is why it was really weird that they said that it's like an open zone when it's really not. ICOs are not acceptable within the Busan special region. The area in Busan is meant to be similar to Zug's famous crypto hub in Switzerland, but there are still restrictions. The public caught wind of special blockchain zone within the Ministry of SMEs and Startup released in July. Biggest Busan's population. The point being, we had information before that Bitthumb was, or I'll put it to you this way. Bitthumb got hacked, I assume around 2018. I assume the government and them got very, very close. And along with that closeness as being one of the more trusted names in South Korea, they probably got into discussions as far as building within this zone. And I can only assume that since we had the news that the South Korean government is potentially looking into the idea of creating their own digital currency, I assume it will probably come from Busan as well. Which means this part is hyper speculation. Bitthumb will probably have some type of doing in the creation of their digital currency. No one really puts 8 million into something unless they can get money out of it. We've also had news before that there were other blockchain cryptocurrency companies who were helping countries with their cryptocurrency regulations and also helping them with the creation of their digital currencies. And if you remember, we had news that Binance was also one of them as well. I think they spoke to the ministers of Ukraine and maybe one other country. I don't remember who. Anyway, something is a brewing. I assume we won't really receive any of these things for about a year or two. Apparently, we are 4 months away from China releasing their digital currency. But besides that, I assume everyone will wait about a good year to see how much control can be had by an entity with a centralized digital currency. Let's move on. Next up, while several countries and entities are starting to consider launching their own central bank digital currencies, Australia might be on the opposite side. The nation's reserve bank seems to think that there's no current need for such a product among consumers or customers, as the payment system now is stable enough. The Reserve Bank of Australia has been exploring the potential need of a digital Australian dollar, but it has concluded that there's currently no need for it. According to the final submission that the bank sent to the Senate, there's very little demand for a central bank digital currency among customers. It also says that Australia has a stable banking system at the moment, which has shifted away from cash and checks to electronic payment methods over the last few years. The bank informs that having a low-cost, real-time, similar method as the new payments platform, or the NPP, reduces the need for a CBDC. They said there would be little demand by households for such an asset, given that they already have a good access to digital money in the form of commercial bank deposits that provide payment services and interest-bearing and are protected up to $250,000 per account by the financial claim scheme. It is also worth noting that the bank worries that if a digital currency is to be implemented and starts receiving widespread adoption, it could decrease the bank's deposits. There we go. That's all they really care about, which would ultimately provide fewer funds for loans. They would get less money. Like I said, every major country, it seems, is doing tests behind the scenes to see about the potential implementation of something like this. I assume relatively few of them are going to be doing this over the next couple of years. Australia also hasn't really been, not that they're not crypto friendly, they've been very attacky to other crypto projects. We also never really get news about anything opening in Australia. Like, when was the last time we had news that there was a cryptocurrency project, exchange, or something that was opening in Australia? And I mean, adding the Australian dollar as a fiat pairing also doesn't count. So, that's the Australia Central Bank no need news for today. Here's the actual submission from the Reserve Bank of Australia about the topic. And let's move on. And to kind of finish things off, it's very blockchain-y, government-y news today. The U.S. Treasury Department is concluding a series of tests of a blockchain-based platform that monitors grant payouts. Program manager Craig Fisher revealed that the agency is nearing the completion of a proof-of-concept program that would track the letter of credit For recipients of financial grants, the blockchain-based platform tokenizes letters of credit, which are transferred to grantees through peer-to-peer transactions, including, this was reported by FCW. The process enables the Treasury Department to monitor the release of grant payouts from the government's purse. To qualified recipients, the tokens are also store pertinent data, including grant amount and grantee information to securely receive the grant money. Recipients would have an electronic wallet that's linked to a bank account. Fisher, who unpacks his thoughts on blockchain in a NextGov article, where he deliberates the billions of dollars governments and private corporations have made in the technology that underpins Bitcoin, affirms that the new U.S. Treasury platform is a private system as opposed to a decentralized open network that can be viewed by the public. I expected no less. I wasn't expecting any U.S. government thing to announce that they have an open blockchain anything. Can you imagine? I think that would shock everyone anyway, it's never going to happen. The entire point being, all walks of life seem to be testing cryptocurrency blockchain solutions. This was also kind of news that was sprinkled around on the internet. You could kind of find it in a couple of places, more places than just one. And I guess the news being is that the U.S. Treasury Department has their own, or is conducting tests of their own blockchain when they have to send out money for grants. So, yeah, that's the news. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Tsongololo, Nostromo, Mr. Pickles, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Barebones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohammed Maroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Brittany Niels, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Mil Louisi, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Nicholas Renorth, One Piece, One Love, Damian Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Chest Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Buddy McButtface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arf Medic 17, Bake Me a Cake, and Tigara Makonisa. I'm never going to get that right. I want to say Makonisa. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, for those of you who are not looking at the screen, we have an interesting thing happening with the markets. About a good 6 hours ago, 6, 7, 8 hours ago, Bitcoin shot up. It is currently at $8,492. When I saw it before making this video, it was at $8,512, somewhere around there, roughly around that number. A lot of coins started popping up. Litecoin is currently up by 7. Where are the other really weird ones? Dash is up by 22. Zcash is up by 15. And Bitcoin Gold is up by 26% as well. A lot of these numbers don't make sense to you and or to me. So I'm going to do some hunting as to exactly why this is happening or what could have triggered this. It could be a runoff from the, from the launch of the options and all the other things that we got launched yesterday. I was looking at the chart a couple of minutes ago. It was very, very weird. Tether's chart, you can kind of see it right here. It was nuts. Every 3 seconds, it was a huge spike, and then it would slam back down. There was another huge spike, and it would slam back down. So something's going on within the cryptocurrency markets. I wonder if this has something, because most of the world at this time of day is still sleeping or just waking up. So I wonder if it is the Asian market that's having some type of an effect on all of this going on. I will keep you all afloat and tell you if I find anything. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, or great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.